Today is November the 7th. I just want to give a quick message real quick. A lot of times we have this thing called the dark night, and it's when how we dominantly experience being alive is when we face the shadow aspects of ourselves. Just very dominant. We're very in tune with a lot of past traumas, a lot of negative past situations that we've experienced, what we've gone through, things that we've experienced, negative things that we are experiencing right now in the present. Whenever there is a time of change, of big change, like there is now after this, I think eclipse that just hit a couple weeks ago. Whenever there is a time of great change, there is a part of our spirit that goes into a state of meditation. Basically, it's when an inner part of ourselves is saying, okay, I need to recharge. And how the essence of our spiritual self deeply affects our quality of life. So spiritual health is important. Spiritual health is the more in tune we are with what is beyond what we can see, what we can look at, what we can touch, things like that. It is beyond in a state of how we love and feeling and just how everything is created in the world and how life itself goes, how trees grow, things like that. Just I guess the intelligence of existence and just the force, beautiful force, life force behind it. So it's important to keep our spiritual self in check, because our spiritual self keeps us more connected to what is the source essence of light, of creation itself in existence. So when it comes to a point of great change, our spirit will go into meditation, and it'll just basically say, hey, I'm going to recharge myself for a little bit. Just kind of focus on what you want your future to be, what you want in your life, what you want to achieve, what you want to experience while you're alive right now. And when you focus on that, you create a seed or an idea, and you just say, hey, this is what I want to do. And just kind of be aware of that. Take that awareness into a subconscious state of mind. And when your spirit goes into meditation, you'll start to feel a sense of clarity within yourself. You'll start to feel like you'll be able to see everything that's around you. You'll be able to actually be aware of what you're doing, where you're at, and whether or not you actually like your position, whether or not you like the person that you wake up to or look at, that's next to you, that you hang out with, things like that. You'll just have a state of awareness of how you really feel about it, and so when you and you'll also have like a state of like a dreamy type feeling. You'll feel kind of melancholy, sort of like the world is in suspension, or like your life is in suspension right now, as long as you let yourself feel that. Because a lot of times when we get to that point, when our life feels like a dream, what we'll do is we'll kind of be like, okay, well, what I'm familiar with is the day-to-day hustle that I go through every single day, and maybe I need to just focus more on work. I need to focus more on this, and this that kind of keep me grounded. And it's like, no. When you start to feel that dreamlike state and the world sort of starts to get away from you and you feel ungrounded, that means your spirit is trying to prepare for a new chapter in your life. And new chapters happen all the time to everybody in the world. No one can deny that. There's always a new chapter. There's always an opportunity. So again, when you get to that point where you feel your spirit going into meditation, you feel dreamy, and you get that sense of clarity, just think to yourself where you want to go, what you want to experience, who you want to be, and just kind of leave that as a seed in the back of your mind, and just kind of feel out what the world is going to throw your way. Because when that happens, you're going to start seeing weird symbols. You're going to start seeing weird synchronistic things. Like there was a type of vehicle that I've wanted, and so anyway, there was something that I wanted, and when I thought about, what I actually wanted, I started seeing multiples of it. So basically, if there is something that you want, just put that in the back of your mind and just start feeling out synchronicities that the world will start to give you. You'll start to see weird patterns. You might see the same vehicle multiple times over and over again. You've never seen this vehicle, or you've rarely seen it, and now you see it 6 or 7 times in one day. You may start seeing a repeating pattern of numbers. Mostly it'll be 8s or 4s. But it depends on the person. But you'll start seeing weird, just repetitive things, synchronicities and things like that. That is a good sign. That means that you are doing something right, that you are going down the right path. If you do feel like it's a warning of some sort, then try to tap into that and see why it's a warning. Things are never as black and white, as a lot of people make it seem. If you see certain things, it doesn't always mean it's bad. It doesn't always mean, it just where you're at in your journey and how you feel it out. And you have to learn how to trust yourself and to trust your intuition. And because your intuition is you and your connection to something higher that is beyond you. And when you trust that intuition, then you trust more of the architecture, the essence of the architecture that builds the structure of life itself. And when you tap into that intuition, you can tap into that power, and you can then life just kind of works out better, because there's less mental resistance toward what can be a blessing for you, or it can be a blessing for your life. So just learn how to have self-trust. I know trust is a thing that is being heavily attacked on people, between friendships and relationships, and people saying that they've been betrayed and things like that. I know trust is a weird thing, but it is very important to have trust in yourself. A lot of people don't. It's not that a lot of people don't trust others. A lot of times, but a lot of times people have a hard time trusting themselves, because they don't know how to trust their own judgment. They don't know how to trust how they view reality. They don't know how to trust what they even feel or what they think. And that lack of inner trust keeps people disconnected from who they really are deep down, and how they can experience life in such a unique way, a way that's unique to them. So trust that intuition, and just trust yourself, trust in what these synchronicities are that you're seeing, or what you're feeling, what you're noticing. Just kind of, see what's the situation and what are these synchronicities relationship to what's dominantly on your mind, or what's dominantly that you're feeling, So, so where you want to go, just think of those as seeds. And when your spirit is meditating and you feel loopy and dreamy, just kind of put those seeds into your meditative state of mind. You'll know how to do it. As long as you trust this feeling, then you'll know how to do it on instinct, and just trust, and it'll be good. So when you do that, see the opportunities that life gives you, and just don't be in resistance. Just be like, okay, let me feel this out. I trust that this is okay. I trust that this is good. And just kind of go with the flow and see where life takes you. A lot of the times when something is bad, you'll get a bad feeling. But usually if something is good, then you usually will have a good feeling, but you also won't feel anything, or sometimes you'll just feel neutral about it. And not to take away from the beauty of neutrality, but that can also be a good thing too when you don't feel anything. When you feel drawn, like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. But if there are no bad thoughts to follow, nothing bad that's kind of, that you're getting from this, or nothing bad's going to happen, but you just feel like, hey, this is something new, and I don't know what this is, but it's not bad, it's not harmful, then that's neutrality. And that is a very good thing. That's a beautiful thing, because you can be enriched in ways you don't even know, or you can't even imagine. So again, follow it. Right now is a big time for huge changes, and it's important to take advantage of that. It's important to know that whenever big change does happen, a lot of people are getting sick right now. That is a draining of a lot of old patterns, bad habits, and they're being drained out right now. A lot of the people's spirits are just kind of letting them loose, and a lot of times physical ailments are symptoms of spirit cleaning itself out. That's just how it is. So people are going to be getting sick around this time. There's always a synchronicity, or like a bridge between what is spiritual and what is physical. So, physically, the effects of something has a spiritual meaning behind it. And when the two kind of come together and you have an awareness of, okay, I feel a spiritual thing, and I know that I'm having a physical reaction to it, or the world is having a physical reaction to it, then you can kind of know or have an idea of what's going on in the spiritual realm. And then you'll have an idea of what you need to do, where you need to go, how you can handle this new change that is going to affect the planet itself, or society, or things like that. So just keep that in mind, and know that, there are going to be a couple sicknesses. A lot of people are going to be getting sick right now. Expect that. I know a lot of deaths have been happening. Like an odd pattern of death is happening right now for people. That's another whole nother thing, but anyway, that'll be happening right now. Expect a lot of anger to be coming up. Expect a lot of ego death. Basically, that is a identity that, basically, when you have, to keep it simple, you have an identity right now, the way that you think, the way that you like to see life, how you like to experience life and see people and experience relationships with people. When you have a type of ego death, the person that you identify as at this moment is basically put to rest. It goes away for a while, or it goes away, and your spirit starts to make room for a new version of yourself, or a new dominant identity for you to experience the beauty of life. A lot of times people try to get rid of their identity, and it's like having an identity creates unique experiences in life, as well as creates new trials to go through, new things to overcome, new abilities to obtain. Usually when you go through a trial, there is a trophy at the end of it. There's always a trophy at the end of the race. And a lot of people just run the race, and they just think that that's what you got to do to get through life. And it's like, nah, this issue right now is just a race that you just have to go through, and you get this trophy on the other side. And it's like it's like you obtain a gift after the race, is what the trophy is. And this new trophy, this new gift, is a new way of experiencing existing. So just know that there is beauty behind struggles and things like that. Expect ego death. Expect to be feeling very different in yourself, having different perspectives of life, and it is important to lean into those new perspectives of life. And it can be scary, like, oh, what's going on? I don't recognize what's going on right now, but life is always going to change, and it can be scary, but at the same time, you can't you can't exist as something that is not already a part of who you are. So when you do go through these changes, it's important to know that this is already a part of yourself. You're just experiencing it different now. When it comes to how people have treated us and how people have molded us, or not molded us, but how people have given us certain conditions and things like that, that will start to filter out. But it's important not to hold on to. It's important not to hold on to the identity that you created through the conditioning that other people have given you throughout your life, especially if you know that that's not really who you are. That is, in a sense, a big part of an ego death, is also shedding away the versions of yourself that other people have influenced you to become, things like that. And the more that you go through this shedding, the more you do find yourself. And when these big changes happen with, these eclipses and things like that, it is an opportunity to shed away what's no longer serving you as a person, or what you're trying to do with your own life. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is just like a quick little, energy update or something. Just know, though, that your spirit is going into a meditative state right now. Give it some seeds, and just be careful about what you expose yourself to right now, because you don't want to expose yourself to anything too negative or negatively influential when your spirit is in a meditative state, because that too is a seed. So if you were in like a situation with a bad person, if you're feeling like you're in that dreamy-like state, your spirit is very vulnerable around this time to both good and negative things. And if you're around negative people while you're going through this transformation, you could end up just falling backwards, or just remaining where you're at, or just being stuck. So it's important to when you're feeling this, to really fill yourself up or feed yourself with things that you're going to need to help you sustain this new version of yourself. And you're going to know what it is. Just follow the feeling. Just trust the feeling. Even if you feel a little doubtful, just say, hey, what if I didn't feel doubtful? And just see where it goes. So I think that's all I really need to say right now. But hopefully this helps whoever listens to it. And I hope everyone has a good day. Do the best you can with what you got, and just feed yourself with the things that are in the direction of where you're trying to go. Your spirit is very vulnerable to that type of change right now. So it'll be a lot more easier to flush things out, as well as sustain new boundaries and foundations. All right, do the best you can with what you got, and have a good day. One last thing I wanted to add. Don't tell anybody your business, because when you open up to people about certain things, their energy, the vibes that they give off about the certain subject that you open up about them to, can be affected depending on how a person talks to you, how they support you or don't support you, say something negative toward you. And around this time, when you're feeling more vulnerable, then their negativity can influence the direction in which you do grow. So you don't want to open up anything to anybody. So just kind of be quiet about a lot of things until it's more secure within yourself, and then it'd be better to open up with people.